Hello one and all, my name is Sean Splains and this is Slay the Spire 2. Last time we left off we kind of blitzed through Act 2, we managed to defeat the Insatiable and we've got ourselves set up with a nice Regent deck which has a synergy of stars and sword towards the end, and now we're going to hopefully close things out and beat up the Aeonglass and show a really strong build against it. The options we have here is Delicate Frond. At the start of each combat, fill all empty potion slots with random potions. This can be really good to just use up all your potions at the start of every combat and cycle and try and get really good ones for the final boss. It also pairs up nicely with our Reptile Trinket, so we'll just be able to put out a lot of damage. We can do Blessed Antler to gain energy at the start of each turn, but at the start of each combat, shovel Dazed into our draw pile, which isn't an issue for us, but again because I have the charge card, which allows me to transform cards in my draw pile, so I could use this to transform two of them and I wouldn't even suffer, so this is just free energy. Or I have Glitter to enchant all card rewards with Clam, which means they can replay once per combat. I don't really want to add many more cards to my deck, so Glitter's not that useful to me. So it's a toss-up between Delicate Frond and Blessed Antler. Because I've got the charge card, like I say, I can actually negate the downside of the Dazeds. But I think because of the synergy with Reptile Trinket and because I want to try and cycle potions as much as possible, I'm going to take Delicate Frond. Ideally, I'll get a potion belt from one of the merchants, so I'll try and take merchants here. I'm going to take one elite and I'm going to take the campfires when I can. I'll go up this way, I'll go to this merchant, then I'll cut across and take this campfire and this campfire, then this elite, and then go straight up like that. I think that's all we need to go for in this. So here you see we get King's Courage and Fire Potion, and I'm quite safe to use all three of them because I know that every combat I'm going to be getting another 3 potions. So in our first turn, I'll drink the King's Courage right now. I will weaken the guy in the back, so he's only doing 2 times 5, and I'll just hit the guy in the front. So now we get all the strength, we're at plus 10, so we're doing a lot of damage. I can use alignment to get more energy. I can Sovereign Blade to just kill him outright. Then I can weaken this guy in the back and hit him and then defend, so we're only taking 5 damage. Then he's only at 22 HP. We can use Summon Forth to get the blade back and then finish him off. We get a Star Potion. Overall, Orbit's a good choice of a power. And we don't have a lot of powers and we're not getting much of an opportunity to use Rainbow Ring, so I think I might actually take Orbit. And I don't really like parry, so I'm not going to take that. We're up against this event against the dummy, and it's not a downside. As much as it says that there's lethal humiliation, just nothing happens if you can't kill it in time. I'd say with our deck, we could probably only really do setting 1, but there's no point in us procuring a random potion, so I think I'll gamble and try and take setting 2. So we get our potions as expected. This isn't going to hit us at all. Our goal is just to try and kill it in 3 turns if we can. So I'll play the Orbit card right away, and I'll play Manifest Authority to see what we get. We actually get Mind Blast as a really good card here. Just does 28 damage for free. And we also get the +1 strength from the Rainbow Ring since we used all of our different options. And I'll just end turn there. On this turn, I'm going to use all my potions. Right, I'll use Touch of Insanity on Cosmic Indifference. I will Cosmic Indifference my Mind Blast back, so I do more damage with it. And then I'll Squash, Strike, Stardust. So it turns out I could have probably killed the 300 HP one, but I think getting the 2 attacks upgraded, or the 2 cards upgraded, has been really useful. Because at this point in the game, we're quite comfortable with our deck, and upgrading it just makes it better. So that's our main goal and why we're trying to hit so many campfires and we're not really that bothered about elites anymore. We actually get a Fairy in the Bottle already, so we want to try and keep this as long as we can. This is pretty much the best one you can hope for. We also have the Stable Serum that helps us retain and Dexterity Potion, which we'll use both of them just now. It would have been nice to have some way to get a star so we could just play 7 stars and win in 1 turn, but unfortunately we're not that lucky. Play Squash to get the vulnerable down, then Strike and Gamma Blast. So the enemy's already down at half. We actually get to retain the 7 stars because of the potion that we used. So that means if we just survive this turn, I can actually play 7 stars next turn and just win. So we'll play Dying Star and Collision Course. then I won't be able to do that just yet because I played something else, but it's okay, it works out. Another hidden cache is interesting, but I don't think we massively need it. Vigor is very... Terraforming is interesting. This pairs really nicely with the 7 stars if we time it right, because it hits so many times. Yeah, I think we take a terraforming, and then we leave the rest. So we'll hit the shop, hopefully we get good relics. Start each elite combat with 2 strength, that doesn't really bother me. Potions always appear, that doesn't bother me. And Book of the 5 Rings is terrible. That is not a good shop at all. I can at least remove another defend. And jackpot's not bad either. I think we take a jackpot. I'm quite happy with that. I don't want anything else. It's a terrible shop. I'll go for another shop. Whenever you exhaust a card, that's fine. I don't think there's anything I really want to remove. I mean, we could remove exhaust on Yaw's Fury. That's actually not bad. I don't think I've ever found a use for putting this ability on. It's not. Is it worth it to add a decay as well? Well, again, we can transform it. So yeah, I think this is the one time we take that and we just add it to Yaw's Fury. So now we can get a lot of cycling with taking cards back out of our discard pile and putting it back into our draw pile. Here the safe bet would just be to play Reflect, but I really want to play Jackpot because it's fun, so I'm going to. So we'll play Jackpot, we get Big Bang! The best card on this character. Falling Star reduces his damage output at least, and then we can actually still Reflect. I can still Reflect and force 9 damage back onto this guy, and then I can Radiate to get a lot of damage down. Does 9 damage to himself. He's dealing 21 this time, that's much bigger damage. And we have no block cards typically. So play the Swift Potion, still no real block cards. We get 7 stars, but we have nowhere near enough stars to play it. Defend, use the Fortifier Potion to try and reduce the damage taken. Is there anything we really want to transform? We want to transform the Decay, so I think I'll just make sure that's transformed. And transform a Defend. And just leave the rest of those cards. Take a bit of damage. We actually see the Yaw's Fury. I think we can make this work. So I think realistically I want to see Venerate and 7 stars, and that's fine. Well, there wasn't really much point in getting the 7 stars, but to be honest there wasn't anything else I was that interested in, so it was okay. We get the hidden cache, that's going to help us out. I'll take the Bulwark so we can get some strength, and I'll just play the Sovereign Blade to get some damage down. I think we might be able to kill here, so we do Gamma Blast, Minion Bomb, and then Collision Course. Yeah, that kills. So we took a little bit of damage there, but we're okay in the end. Again, I don't really want to take any more cards unless I see something amazing, which I don't. So we'll go here. We get Kusarigama, which is okay for us. We don't really use that many cards, so it's not amazing. Jackpot upgrade is really nice to see. Again, going for the next campfire so we can get another upgrade. That's what really matters for us. We get another Fortifier Potion and a Distilled Chaos. Fortifier can really save us in certain situations, but Distilled Chaos isn't incredible. I think I'll play Distilled Chaos, and that really worked out. Wow. We can do 81 damage with Sovereign Blade, and then reduces strength by 11 with that. I think that's the safe play. I could play Jackpot as well, but it's not a particularly safe choice when I can just do that. He's doing 0 damage, and then next turn we'll probably kill. It's only got 18 health. Yeah. Get a Gambler's Brew. I don't really want that though, so I'll probably get rid of it. Monologue, whenever you play a card this turn, gain strength. That seems really good. Comet's an interesting choice because we already have a lot of stars, and it just applies a lot of weak and a lot of vulnerable, and does a decent chunk of damage. But I think realistically Monologue's the best choice. We can just actively pick when we want to do a lot of damage, and we don't really care about any of these cards. I'm going to discard Gamblers because I don't care much about it, and to be honest I don't care much about Fortifier, so I'll ditch that as well. We can smith another card. It's going to be Glow because I really want more star generation. We get Mecha Knight, which to be honest is probably the choice I would have liked to see here. So I'll take Reflect, Defend, and charge so that I can turn the decay and a defend into dive bombs. We get a strength potion, a duplicator potion, so we can use those quite carefully here. I'll play orbit and gather light to get another star. I think I just summon Fourth and Bulwark to just really buff the Sovereign Blade. He's doing 40 this time. I don't have the option to weaken him, and that just gives me more energy, it doesn't do anything else. So we're just going to have to take a massive chunk of damage here. Although what I could do is I could Duplicator Potion and Strength Potion now. I can Fallen Star. Oh, it does the vulnerable. I was really hoping it would do the weaken. I should have done Monologue first as well, and I could have just got a massive chunk of damage off, but it's okay. It's a pretty heavy amount of damage. Not liking that at all. I'll play Monologue here. Play Nyal's Fury to get Monologue back again, along with a Falling Star. So I'll play Monologue again, I'll play Falling Star, play Minion Dive Bomb, Strike and Crash Landing. We get a Pendulum, which is actually really good. Every 3 turns draw an extra card. With all of my strength scaling, Celestial Might actually has the potential to do an insane amount of damage, so I'll just pick one of those up. And here I'll take the Clumsy and the Relic. Up to 10 block persists across turns. That's going to be really handy in certain situations, and I'll just have to take the heal here because I obviously lost a sizable chunk of health. And now that we're going into final combat, we really want 2 good potions. So as we can see, we got a couple of okay potions, not brilliant. We get an attack potion, fire potion, both just do damage, they don't do much else. I think here I want to try and get as many stars as possible. I think I can see a way out with this. We do have a lot of cards in our deck. I got a bit carried away and started picking up too many things. I'll press Glow because again I want to try and get these up as much as possible. I will Falling Star to try and get through some of the artifact. Then we still have 2 energy, so I will Gather Light and Manifest. I don't think I even need to play Thinking Ahead here because I don't really want to play cards if I don't have to because of the Wither. We get Reflect, which is good for reflecting all this damage, obviously. And then we can get Smith, which allows us to forge 4, which is really strong. I think I actually want to use Crush Under to get rid of that last artifact. And then I'll Solar Strike to get more stars. I think instead of using Sovereign Blade as the main way out of this, I want to get a lot of stars and put it into Stardust at the right time. And that is probably a safer way through the combat. I don't really need to do much. I think I would Glow again, and then maybe take Solar Strike to potentially get more stars. So like I say, I will Strike. So we're at 8 stars now. We get an extra card this turn because of Glow, which is allowing us to use 7 stars, dealing 17 damage 7 times. So actually, if we could get 2 more stars, please give me something that gives me stars. Oh, it gives me Gamma Blast, okay. So we can do Gamma Blast, which does the vulnerable. So we're doing 34 damage 7 times. And then we can actually do Celestial Might as well. So we play that. Does 34 7 times, takes them down to 184. So now they're doing 21 plus 6. So they don't quite kill. So I can safely push into this as well. So now it's at 94 HP. It's looking pretty promising. Doing 10 times 2, so it kills me with the first one, but it doesn't quite kill me with the second one. We haven't worked on this at all, so it would be a pretty rubbish attack. I can maybe Orbit here to give myself more energy in future turns. I could Jackpot, but then if I Jackpot into cards that cost stars, it's not that useful for me. Cosmic Indifference would offset one of these. That's probably the best bet. Is there anything that I think could kill that next turn? Not really. If I go into here, I don't have anything that stands out as something that could just be impactful. What attack is it on? It's on the double attack, so next turn it's buffing. So next turn is a good turn to attack. What have I got left in my draw pile? Dying Star would be interesting, but not next turn. Hidden Cash is good for giving me more stars. I think I might just gamble on the Jackpot. Nah, we get all things we didn't want to see any of that. So we take the damage, it's now buffing, so I've got a free attempt at just hitting it in the face over and over again, which is nice. But then it can still give me a Wither and do a lot of damage to me, so I need to be careful. I'll play Monologue into Hidden Cash, into Venerate, into collision, into squash, into collision course. So now it's only at 28 HP. We're going to go down to 8 HP. This is going to be to the wire. It's still got 1 vulnerable. All we need is enough damage. That's going to do... Oh, we get the jackpot and we finish it off. That was a lot closer than I wanted it to be, but I think we just got a bit carried away towards the end of the act. And as much as this was a really good... This might have actually saved us. I think if we picked the other option, we wouldn't have made it to the end there. But this goes to show that if your deck gets way too bloated out, it can cause a lot of problems for you. So as much as the first 2 acts went really well in my opinion, I got a little bit too carried away in the 3rd act and I added too many cards. Like, this helps you show what you've added in order. I think at Cosmic Indifference, or even Squash, because I was forced to take Squash, pretty much everything I added in Act 3, which is these cards, I just didn't need to add. I didn't need to add these at all. As much as Jackpot came in handy in the final battle there, I could have done without any of these, because they really just got in the way and caused a lot of problems for me. And what I said about Charge being so impactful and really helping in that fight, it didn't help as much as I wanted it to, because the cards that you get given go straight into your hand and then go into your discard pile. So it's not as effective as Compact for the Defect, for example, which is a card that's in your hand and it affects the cards in your hand. The Regent does have other transforming cards that transforms cards in your hand, so those are better for the Aeonglass. So I apologise for saying that this was a solve for the fight. It's good for the fight after your deck reshuffles, but before it reshuffles, it doesn't fix the problem that the Aeonglass pushes on you. So if you're playing against the Aeonglass, try and get something that transforms cards in your hand, or even in your discard pile, or something to that effect that would be useful. Or even I could have used Cosmic Indifference to pull the card into my draw pile, and then I could have transformed it when it was back in my draw pile. But anyway, we'll just do a couple of the Epochs and then we'll call it a day. I've never actually seen this badge. One with a deck where no 2 cards are the same. I've never had that before. Usually I take dupes of cards. Interesting. Good to know. So firstly we have Somewhere. This is a placeholder for a random thing. The Joys of Early Access. So we didn't get anything from that. It was just a little epoch that we finished. And then for beating Ascension 1 with the Regent, Little King. Little King, you brim with mightiness like I. Tanks is immediately taken with the Regent's regal confidence. Dominate the spire, crush them all, he bellows, hurling a strange scepter toward him. This will let you fight on even ground. This gives us Heavenly Drill, an excellent card, deal 8 damage X times, double X if it's 4 or more, so this can get really out of hand, especially with the Chemical X relic. Patter to give us Vigour, which would really boost the damage on this as well as block. And Lunar Blast, deal 4 damage for each skill already played this turn, which is really good. If you're playing a heavy skill deck and you have Make It So you're bringing Make It So into your hand over and over again, you play Lunar Blast at the end of the turn, you can give yourself a lot of block and deal damage at the same time. And that is all we have this time. So as close as that was, and as much as I made a few mistakes towards my deck building towards the end of that Regent run, I hope you learned a little something from it, and you'll be able to take away something that will at least be able to help you in your runs. I have been Sean Splains, this has been Slay the Spire 2, and I'll see you in the next one.